Hello everyone and welcome to my look at 2008's The Incredible Hulk. In honor of the upcoming Avengers Endgame, I would do them with who the Marvel Studios films I haven't yet, so let's open it up. After a credit sequence done in the style of the classic TV show with Lou Ferrigno and Bill Bixby, open in Rio de Janeiro where Bruce Banner, played by Edward Norton, is trying to control his powers as the Hulk. He's been working at a soda bottling plant and for the past 158 days. One day, however, he accidentally cuts himself with some machinery, leading to someone in the US getting radiation poisoning from his blood, which is an obligatory coming from the late Stan Lee. This also allows him to be trapped by General Thaddeus Ross, played by William Hurt. Bruce is also in contact with someone back in the US known only by screening Mr. Blue about his condition. Even though I wasn't the biggest fan of the 2003 film, this one has a marked improvement. More influence to the comic and TV show. After another experiment fails, Bruce sends a blood sample, uses alias Mr. Green, and vows to meet him in New York. Meanwhile, Ross moves to mobilize a strike force led by Emil Blonsky with Tim Roth to intercept Bruce. He tries to hide the body plan when he's confronted by some antagonistic coworkers from earlier. We get a first glimpse of the Hulk. The effects definitely improved to the 2003 film, especially in terms of lighting and texture on the hair and skin. Louis Leterrier had quite a big experience in visual effects before he became a director himself. I also like how he throws people around, he antagonizes him around before through the factory like rag dolls. Now Bruce must make his way back to the States in order to meet with Mr. Blue in New York, while his contact in a fictional Culver City in Virginia. Naturally, both these locations were filmed in Canada. Bruce able to make it back to North America, taking a job at a local pizza parlor. There was a brief cameo from Lou Ferrigno as a campus security guard, as Bruce makes contact with Ms. Ross' daughter Betty, played by Liv Tyler. I also like the arrangement of Lonely Man music from the show that plays at certain points in the film. Elsewhere, Blonsky decides to undergo similar experiments to what Bruce was doing, this goes back to the super soldier test during World War II. Captain America the First Avengers next we'll have a look at, so don't worry about that. Bruce is then confronted by the military at Culver University, and soon action scenes held up remarkably well over the past decade or so. Even the 50 caliber machine guns barely slow the Hulk down as able to whip around the jeeps like they were toys. As for the experimental sonic weapons they use on Bruce, as well as a couple cultures wincing the fire on their camera phones. Even in their second film, Marvel Studios had definitely established their filmmaking style and taking more outlandish elements from their comics and making them work in a real-world context. So, Bruce and Betty decided to make the journey to New York to see Mr. Blue despite being low on money and supplies. I do like this little in-joke about the purple stretch pants. On a less amusing note, the spirit of Bruce being triggered by making love with Betty takes on no meaning after Age of Ultron. I won't spoil why for those who haven't seen it yet, but those who know what I'm talking about. Also turns out that Mr. Blue is actually Dr. Samuel Stearns, played by Tim Blake Nelson. And as Bruce and Betty reach New York, I just get a kick out of the scene with the cabbie every time. Anyway, Bruce is just actually trying to bring the Hulk to Bruce's theories, just as Blonsky gets ready to mobilize New York. Even though this isn't my favorite film of Phase 1, I still enjoy seeing it when I was 16 as I do now. Stearns also reveals that he has no ulterior motive for harnessing Bruce's blood. He wants to personally profit what he can do with it. Bruce understandably is horrified by this, and Blonsky's been really alive at that moment. As Bruce is captured, Blonsky demands blood samples from research, and Stearns sheepishly agrees, dubbing Blonsky the Abomination. Now, we get to what's easily the highlight of the film, the final battle between the Hulk and Abomination on the streets of Harlem. Even though the neon LPs and Rocket Man give away the filming location in Canada, special effects and cinematography are massive improvement in the 2003 film. As a superpower throwdown between the film and his Titans goes on, my disappointment with the Ang Lee film is raised with just two little words: Hulk smash. After one last meeting with Betty, Bruce goes into exile to help control his powers, and we close General Ross meeting with Tony Stark when I find a way to control the combat threats to our face. I didn't know what to make of the scene when I was younger, but I like watching this again for high snow that's something bigger. As in several AAA billion-dollar movies bigger. Even though Marvel has come a long way since Phase 1, It's amazing in hindsight how committed we did building the similar content with the comics on film. This movie, while not my favorite entry, is a marked improvement of the 2003 film. The story that's more faithful to comics, the presentation that's like a modern version of the classic TV show. The special effects are top drawer, and the action is only example of quality being consistent for 10 years now. Well, I have the series, hope to enjoy it. My final rating is 3 out of 4. I just have one more movie left before I get caught up with reviewing all the Marvel Cinematic Universe movies, so check back next time I look at Captain America, the First Avenger.